morning. Today we will talk about the first item in the finishing works of any project. It will be the block work. This is the first finishing procedure after finishing the concrete skeleton, and the first step is to clean your floor from all the waste. That will be very helpful for you, for the labor, for the masons, to start the layout and to make it easy for the block stocking and material stocking, cement, sand, everything. So first step is to clean the floor. That will help all the labor to get their work fast and clean. How to start, how to make it according to specifications, and how to finish your work nicely and clean. In any floor you will start with block work. First step is to make the layout. Some people name it as a first course or a first line, and this is representative for all the walls in the floor, and we do that from the solid block to resist the moisture and humidity coming from the floor. All the solid blocks must be on membrane insulation to prevent and resist moisture to come inside the wall. Some people use the membrane only in the wet area, and some people prefer to make it in all the walls. As we see here, this client insists to make it in all the walls to prevent and resist moisture coming from the floor to the walls. As we see, this is the first procedure with a block work to make the layout before starting raising any floor. That's help us to make sure that all the dimensions of the rooms are accurate and angled and as per as in the drawings. If you have any problem with dimensions, you can make it a solution was to make the walls according to each other angle and make the diversity in a place that will not affect the architectural plan. As we see here, this wall is taken on a thread from the beginning till the end. Because it's one wall, we need it very straight. It's a corridor. The width must be constant all over the place. And we make the mortar above the insulation before putting the solid block, as you see. And after you finish an area or a section of your layout procedure, you start to make your stock from kinds of the block you are using. In this place we are using the cement based block works, so we have the kind of the thermal blocks. It will be on all the walls that facing the outsides to give us a heat insulation. And we have the hollow blocks, 10 cm, 20 cm, 25, 30, 35, as bare as drawings. The market is full of these types. And of course the solid blocks will be in all the layouts, and the frames of the doors and windows, because the hollow blocks will be very weak for fixing the windows and doors. As we see here, this room is on the corner, so this side is facing the outside climate, so we make the wall that facing outside from a thermal block to resist the heat. Corners will be from solid block, because if you make it also from the thermal blocks, you will find the insulation here, foam insulation here and here, and when you make your plastering work outside, it will not have a good bond with the polystyrene or the foam. At the door frame, we left here 15 centimeter on the right, 15 centimeter on the left. We will make all the frame from concrete to make it the fixation of the door frame very strong. And here we have a very big window, 5 meter width, 60 centimeter finishing from the sill height, 60 centimeter from the finishing. We do first line from the solid block, and second line thermal block, third line 10 centimeter solid block, and we will cast the sill from concrete all over the 5 meter on the window, and also the frame of the window will be concrete from here, and we already have a column here, and the lintel also will be a concrete. About the joints, must be all filled out without any voids, and it will be constant 1 cm to 1.5 cm. That's perfect for bonding, not less, not more. As you see here, the mason is preparing the mortar for the next line. And it's very important also in the specification is the metal mesh that holding all the line together. First mesh, we put it on the solid block, and after that every 2 lines. Some people make it every 3 lines, but it's ideal to make it every 2 lines. Very important also to make all the cut pieces with the grinder, not with the hammer. To get a straight shape, perfect shape for all your cut pieces. Also, it's very important in the specification, when the wall face a concrete side like a column or a beam, it's very good to make a shipping in the side that facing the wall, against the wall, to raise the bond between the wall and the concrete element. Also, every 2 lines we make the angle, a metal angle, and it's preferred to be galvanized, not to take any rust from the climate. We make it as we see and fix it using the cartouche and the cartouche gun with a nail inside the concrete element to make maximum bond between the wall and the concrete element. And we make it every 2 line, every 3 line, as we do the metal mesh. Of the walls is very important, and we start that the next day of finishing the building of these walls. It's a start in the early morning, spray water all over the walls, and also we repeat this process afternoon. My advice to you is not to make this spraying water on the walls when the sun in midday, because the heat will evaporate the water fast and will affect badly the blocks. But when you do it in the early morning and afternoon, that's make all the blocks saturated with water, and this curement is last for 7 days. Every day in the early morning and afternoon you do the same process. That's too important for 2 things. Number one, it will give the wall the ultimate strength it can get. The bond between the blocks will be very good, and also it will affect the next process, which is plastering. If you didn't make the curement for the wall, it will affect badly the plastering. When you do your mortar of the plaster on the blocks, if it's not saturated with water, they will absorb the water from the mortar of plastering, and next day you will find your plaster cracked, very dry, and not having the ultimate strength you can get for plastering. So it's too important for these two things, and it lasts for 7 days. Every early morning and every afternoon you make your spray on your blocks.